Like, as soon as I hit play, the game music stopped. What's going on? Did we not, do I, like, once again somehow have music not looped? Nope, there's just a long pause. Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday. I'm trying to figure out if my new mouse, if while I'm sitting in my chair, there is anywhere I can put it and use it, because I have my computer up on an incline. And that changes the ergonomics of everything going on. I did end up receiving the mouse that I bought on the, was it last week? Or 2 weeks ago? I ordered a Razer mouse. I was very frustrated because it seems like they depreciated the version of the software that you could, like, update the mouse and then turn it off to, like, do your key bindings. Into a version that must always be on for some of the key bindings to work. But I was able to find a link to an older version of the software and found a workaround. And I'm very, very pleased about that. So we're using that mouse today as we play World of Warcraft. Let's see. Last thing I should probably do is pin my chat so that I can continue to chat with you, Songbell. Thank you. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago it was. I think there is new drops, by the way. So make sure that if you are interested in getting cute little Murloc plushies and stuff, you are paying attention to when you can click claim on the inventory. Let's see, edit mode, move the chat frame. We should save one. Be my streaming layout. I just hit save on the Windblade one. I guess we'll make a new one next week. Drops. Yeah, we could do drops. I will do that real quick. Do you find that it's helpful to, like, tell you, I have to vote a tag off the island if I want to add drops enabled. I'll put it in the title. Hopefully that is helpful. When I look at, like, the information I get about, like, how I'm discovered or, like, how people get to see me, oftentimes most of the stuff is, like, 0 to 1. So there's not really, like, clear ones that are obviously very important versus ones that are less important. Alright, we are going to go take the portal to Belemeth. Fren, you are going to have some spoilers because you haven't done this yet, to my knowledge. And I also don't know that you started this, so you've missed a tiny chunk. My frame rate seems low this morning. Hopefully it will chill out once we are not in well, it'll warm up maybe once we're in Silvermoon City. Or out of Silvermoon City. Wow, words are so hard tonight. This morning. Oh. Excuse me. I'm gonna pause for coffee for a second here. I'm gonna pause for some coffee here. Jeez. know what I did do this morning, though? I still don't have a camera for it, but let's see if it'll pick up some sounds. Do you hear the chirps? I put batteries in my picks again, so that I can continue hanging out with my little guy. Oh well. It's pretty. I have it pretty quiet. I turned the chirps down a little bit.
What is our destination?
Why, hello, adventurer. You know, there is a fine line these days between respecting someone with an immense telemented craft and taking advantage of someone with an immense telemented craft. Should we win a reprieve, I need to increase my priority on training apprentices.
Does Kalarian ever feel like this, Songvale? Like, am I just a portal bot to you? You know, this is a good question, because he was there casting the portal, and then I went through it and he was here. How did he beat me through the portal?
While I would love to go into the details of temporal juxtaposition in my own astral quantum state, I am too tired from holding these portals open. Suffice it to say, with this method of teleportation, I am both here and there, and yet in neither place, until you observe me. I believe there is an apt metaphor involving a cat in a box that one of my students preferred ages ago, but I forget how it goes.
Test, observe, repeat.
Perfect. Alright. I guess, like, did Kalarian end up doing that a lot during Steel Rune? Was he usually our transportation for that? We are now going to go talk to Chandris. Is she here? Oh, they're just feeling defensive.
Be warned, Runathe. You travel with those who share responsibility for the burning of our last home. We will allow you safe passage to speak with the High General, Chandris Feathermoon, but we will not tolerate violence or threats. The Sindorai and the Shaldorai are unwelcome here. Remember that, and choose your words wisely.
Goddess watch over you.
There is a roleplay guild that's more so on Moonguard than on the server we play on called Silver Circle, and I admit I periodically consider whether or not I would enjoy trying to join them. Songvale says Night Elves look angry. Yes, they do. He did, and that Kalarian did do a lot of portals for Steel Rune. That was a role-playing guild that the two of us were in. I realized that this is, like, probably a Gandalf reference, but there was somebody I knew in Warlords of Draenor who had a name which wasn't this, and I don't even think it was, like, close enough to arguably be from Gandalf, but I think it did start with myth, maybe, and my brain always wants to be like, this is a reference to that person's character, but also just gets really stuck on, like, I wish I could remember what their name was. But,
What brings you here?
I can't. Gone. The memory is gone. You know, I was like, I would really appreciate those guards telling me where to go. They didn't want me here, and I understand that, but they also didn't really say, here's where you go. Get in, get out. Ooh, busy up here. Alright.
Once again, That accursed Sunwell has been corrupted by vile magic. Predictable.
I mean, I guess, like...
I need to target
Oops, wrong
something
button.
first.
I guess, like, the Void Elves are Alliance allies. Maybe it's because of the Elune and the Night Warrior thing. Like, maybe they recognize Night Warrior. Maybe it's canonical that they recognize Night Warrior energy in the Void. But that is just crazy to me. That, like, the Void Elves are more acceptable than the Shaldorai and the Sindorai. That's crazy to me.
Magic surrounds us.
The Kaldorai aided my people in our own time of need, just as I fought alongside their people in defense of Amirdrasil. However, the Kaldorai made it very clear to my people that we are not friends. There are many reasons we joined the Horde, the Kaldorai being one of them.
Moonlight watch over you.
The beauty of Eversong endures.
When last I stood here, Belameth was in danger of being consumed in the fires of the Incarnates. It brings me joy to see this place has remained untouched by the evils of the world since that day.
We shall not falter.
What can I do?
My parents may be lost and our armies broken, but that does not mean we are defenseless. We must stand together and call upon our allies if we are to prevail.
Be alert for opportunities to help.
This marks my first visit to Amirdrasil. Descriptions of its verdant splendor do it little justice. In my youth, I seldom appreciated the beauty of nature, even as I looked out my window of my study onto Eversong. But now, after years of exile into Logris Rift, well, I suppose there are some things that are far too easy to take for granted.
We serve the Alliance.
Amirdrasil. It is strange. I have never seen it in person, but it feels familiar somehow. It took me a moment to realize why. The roots, Runethe. I recognize the roots from Harandar. It is difficult to wrap my head around the scope of even the youngest world tree.
Fight with courage.
So I'm trying the thing you suggested, Songvale, where, like, rather than really trying to, like, imitate voices that are outside of my range, trying to alter, like, my diction in a fairly normal voice to approximate, the characters. Yeah, I think we can't let him... Do you realize, Songvale? So, in Songvale's survey about Midnight, she said, please don't kill Lorthamar. We can kill Halderon if we have to. But her one great desire in life is Blood Elf Druids. And I need us all to appreciate that if they kill Halderon, that's it. Blood Elf Druids is over. We need this dude.
My blade is ready.
Runethe, I heard you were traveling with this group. Maev is not pleased with the Sindorai or the Shaldorai, but she understands the reasons why they have come. If anything, that is fueling her anger. They say the roots of Teldrassil, oh, this is spelled wrong, still burn. That Sylvanas Windrunner still walks the lands of death, searching for those lost in that fire she started. And you stand here now at the side of some of those who could have stopped all of that. I also understand why you are here. Let us hope Lorthamar understands the gravity of what he asks of us.
Serve well, friend.
Let's model being part of the solution. So let's model doing the wrong thing, but persevering until we find the correct area. All right. Which I understand, because some people pronounce it that way. Alright. We have helped. I feel like I would enjoy being part of the beta testing crew to catch, like, stuff like that. But also, I don't want to play it when it's, like, half-finished, or when they change it, because then I will be annoyed that, like, they changed story details, and that will be very confusing for my mind. And it's difficult.
The Wardens are watching.
Five has nothing to say to us. This is quite the ensemble you've brought to my lands, Sindorai.
Nature will heal.
You have traveled far to ask my people to march to yet another war. Bayev's fervor is blunt, but not misplaced. While Silvermoon is under threat, let us not forget how many of my people burned when the Sindorai failed to aid us at Teldrassil. However, Belemeth stands tall thanks to their aid. Let each present their reasoning, and I shall then make my decision.
What has befallen the people in Silvermoon? Tell me of the doom that threatens you.
I guess, like, she's the leader of the military forces. I'm a little bit surprised that we go to her instead of, like, Tyrande, though? I guess, is Tyrande still here, or did she come and back? She's here. I've seen her in Belemeth. She stepped down. Songville says she stepped down. I didn't realize that. So, Chandris is in charge now? Okay. I mean, I feel like I did some of this, but I missed that. There is a really aggressive push to, like, changing of the guard, all of the leadership and lore characters, and I feel like I am not super keen on that. It's strange to me. That makes sense. Songville says she doesn't remember exactly when Tyrande stepped down, but I want to say it was between Dragonflight and War Within. Okay. Yeah, I must have missed that story.
Light preserve you, friend.
I greet you on behalf of Silvermoon. The Sunwell has fallen. Xalatath has twisted its power to the void, creating the Darkwell.
The Unwell.
I have much to teach you. This much void energy will soon spill from the Sunwell, corrupting all of Azeroth. It must be stopped.
Let us begin. Even now, my people gather their own army to lend to the Sindorai. We remember those who aided us in the past.
I have heard enough. The Void is a threat to all of Azeroth. You will have our armies.
Very well. The Void represents a threat to this world we cannot ignore. I grow tired of yet another threat to the Sunwell that can't be ignored.
We will find the answers we seek.
Negotiations must be precise, like a sentinel's glaive. We still have much to discuss. If we are to muster for war, then there is an ancient we must bring with us, or they will never forgive us. They are mentor to myself and nearly every sentinel who serves the Kaldorei. They are skilled in war, tactics, and rallying our greatest forces. And they fell asleep again. If history is any lesson, they will only awaken with the aid of someone who has known war. Will you seek out their Grovekeeper to learn how to awaken them?
Consider it done.
While our forces gather, I would like you to have the honor of awakening our ancients. There's a particular ancient of lore we will need awakened. They are a master of magic, a teacher of our druids, and a force that has walked alongside us across many battlefields. Find their Grovekeeper to learn what is needed to wake the ancient.
On your mark.
The enemy we face is a vast host with many capabilities. We will need to match their strength and versatility on the battlefield. To that end, I ask that you seek out Elder Verdantbark, an ancient protector who has long kept our people safe in times of war. They are stubborn and may require you to entice them in some fashion, but their Grovekeeper will know best how to do so.
Champion, please aid Maev with awakening the ancients and preparing them for war.
Alright, she's just gonna stalk me, so that'll be great. Even though I am, as a demon hunter, I'm not sure how comfortable I am with her following me around, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm sure everything's okay. I'm not sure, like, with the Night Elves, especially in specific, if, like, I can assume that there's a road, or if I should always assume that, like, no, they just, you know, like, there's roads in some places, and then other times they just go a-wandering through the grass. Oh, wow. There is, groups of sentinels being teleported to Silvermoon. There they go. It's interesting to me, I feel like the cats they're riding look very, Shalassian, rather than... I probably shouldn't take lumber while I'm here, right? That's probably not a good idea. Sungville says Maev is going to stab me and put me in a soul gem, like a warlock would. Yeah, possibly. Songvale agrees that I was wrong, or I would have been wrong to take the trees. I am correct in not doing so. I recognize these two from a quest I did in Vanilla recently, on Classic Hardcore. We go and find, she's like very young. I think she is, well, maybe she's an adult now. Well, no, I think Night Elves are taller than me, so she's still young. But she kind of gets lost out by some harpies, and we help him find her. Songville says, how is Novarith going to feel about all the Night Elves showing up? I think there's way too many foreigners in his city. So, for people who are not clear, we're talking about...
Continue the ancient elven tradition of not learning from their disastrous mistakes.
That's a great take. What Songvale is talking about here is our roleplay characters. I have one named Novarith, who is very pro-Thalassian isolationism, and was not keen on the Army of the Light being in town, and also he's not keen on the Void Elves being back in town. He also will not like a bunch of the Night Elves showing up. So, the Alliance being in the city, unbelievable to him. Hates that. So, it's a rough time to be Novarith Sunbound right now. Songville says, hey, listen, Maev, we didn't ask Zalatath to show up. We didn't summon her. Blame Umbric, it's his fault.
In times of war and strife, our ancient protectors have been an unyielding force on the battlefield. They just take a lot of effort to rouse them. I will have Elder Verdantbark's battle tenders follow you. Seek out any large stones and boulders that the Elder can fling at our foes. He is refusing to wake up until he has something to throw. Elder Verdantbark appears to be sleeping, though you notice one eye occasionally blinking open to look at you.
That's kind of funny. Alright, let's go find some rocks. There's something kind of charming about calling these battle tenders, you know? Oh, weird, they have beards now. I guess that's how you know they're angry. You know, like this one's friendly, this one's a healer. These ones are battle tenders. They're angry. Alright, somebody carry this rock. Great work. Songvale, also, if you could help me keep an eye on the time. It occurs to me that, like, probably technically today I should start, I don't know, kind of earlier, because I'm not flexing out time from yesterday, but also, you know, it's Wednesday, so I don't have loads and loads I need to do. I need to write a solid email in replacement for the meeting we didn't have yesterday, so yeah. Someone picking up the rock. Alright. Go for it. You know what I will say in this quest? They have timed and made the animation for, like, Treant picking up, or the Tender picking up the rock. That was actually very smooth and well coordinated. There wasn't a lot of, like, and one randomly spawns in while the other one still exists, and then despawns a couple seconds later. They did good. Songwell says, in my opinion, you can count all the driving as work time. I am. To be sure. So, like, yesterday I'm going to be paid for 11 hours. But if I want to be paid for 11 hours yesterday, then, like, I can't just show up later today. Although I'm sure I could just not go to work the rest of the week and then just claim a normal week. Maybe. No, it occurs to me, like, HR won't like that. Or payroll won't like that. And they will know, like, where I was. So, I'm not just gonna flex it all out. It'll be nice to get paid a little more. It's okay. Particularly because I overspent at dinner. I would be comped $30 for dinner, and I spent $15 more than I meant to. I was gonna spend $15 of my own money, and I ended up spending like $30 of my own money. So, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Songwell said, wait, no, I want to watch the rock animation. Looking away the first couple of times. Do you want me to drop the quest and do it again? I'm happy to drop the quest and do it again if you want. We just speed through it real quick. No, it's okay. I mean, you need to do this too, so I'm so sorry. Or you can watch back the VOD. You can watch back the VOD later too. Yeah, because I think I did watch it for this one up here. They are kind of cute carrying the rocks, yeah. This is making me want to roll Druid again. I know you'll be excited. We can have Laylar and... Oh my god, look at these. Look at these. Look at these. These are cute. I love them. We can do Laylar, my Blood Elf Druid, and, Terra, you know, it's actually kind of funny. I have another name that Songvale will know this, that I was debating using, Almaterasu, and it occurs to me that Terra could be her nickname too. But, you know, they can show up and do druid stuff. I present the throwing stones to Elder Verdantbark. Here is Treants with rocks.
It was the incessant need for a fount of power that destroyed our civilization and brought our home to ruin.
I guess. But also, in the end, it saved us, right? Would we have been ready to fight the Legion when they came again? Because apparently we're the last planet in existence. If we hadn't, you know, cut our teeth on that one back then. I always think that argument is interesting. Like, would it be great to go back in time to prevent some disaster or negative thing in fiction like this that comes up in Transformers too? Like, to our knowledge, in the real world, I don't know that this is applied in quite the same way. But, like, there's a level on which there can be inciting incidents that are horrible moments in history within fiction. But it allowed heroes to emerge or to gain skill that then, when an even bigger threat came in the decades, etc., following, they actually had trained incredibly competent forces to meet that new challenge with. Whereas if they had, if that had not happened, then they would have been insufficiently prepared in terms of numbers or skills or resources to respond to a threat. And so I think those questions become very interesting in the like, would you prevent this initial atrocity? It seems like on its face the answer should be yes, but then you have to ask yourself, would they have been ready for the next atrocity that happened if we could only resolve the first one? Songwheel confirms that she does want my druid characters. Before we actually get to the next, this guy's kind of interesting. I like this pose. I feel like I'm ready to do some Night Elf roleplay,
I am on.
if you want to dip your toes into it.
Good luck, friend.
Ooh, this is a hint that the, Highborn might be getting something. That's cool. Songwell says, I've heard this argument in the context of how if Arthas hadn't gone to the dark side and we hadn't chased him to Northrend, we wouldn't have discovered that we were going to be re-originated. But given Ner'zhul was up there, I'm not sure it holds water. I'm game for Night Elves I did not see. Oh, it's like his dialogue text.
Greetings.
It seems like only mere moments ago I was petitioning for our right to return to Kaldorai's society. So much has changed since then. The Shen'Relar were no strangers to sorrow, but it warms my heart to see that our kin have achieved a happier end than the Highborn of Dire Maul. With so many promising young students of the Arcane gathering here, we may need to establish a more permanent place of learning.
May the stars guide you.
Wouldn't that be incredible if, like, after the non-existence of Dalaran, for some reason Silvermoon doesn't become the new, like, center for arcane learning, and actually the Night Elves take that over? Like, just imagine all of our characters, in Quel'Thuz's reaction to that reality. That would be insane. Or, like, if the Alliance tries to refound Dalaran, given that it was a human city-state, and their allies now are the Night Elves, not the Thalassians, that would be wild. That would be wild. And I think, like, Kalarian and Dusk Harbor would just, like, roll. I was gonna say roll in their graves, but they're both alive. They would just roll, I guess. But yeah, I agree. Like, even that threat of, like, we wouldn't have stopped re-origination, or we wouldn't have been able to handle, like, Yogg-Saron nearly as quickly. But I also think there's an argument, like, if we hadn't been kind of honing ourselves in war after war, like, the Ironhorn invasion might not have happened because we wouldn't have had a whole war machine for Garrosh to interact with, etc. So, like, that one might not happen. But, like, say the Legion showing up again. I understand that some of that is because of, like, alternative Gul'dan and stuff like that, and Illidan and all of that, so, like, maybe that wouldn't have happened either. But eventually the Legion would have come back, and we might have been more out of practice with conflict, etc. Alright, I need to stand up and use the restroom real quick, so we are going to take a brief pause. Oh my gosh, it's so nice that this mouse is wireless, holy crap. We're going to take a brief pause, and then I will be back to do more. We're going to take a brief pause, and then I will be right back. I imagine it won't take 4 minutes, but, you know, sometimes things go awry. So, see you all in a bit. no unforeseen things happened, so I'm back. But I will hold off from progressing any farther in the quest until Songvale confirms that she has returned. So for right now, I will take a moment to check in with my Tamagotchi. They're so cute. So wholesome. I really need to get, like, a little camera so I can live stream playing Tamagotchis. I wonder if Twitch has a category. Does Twitch have a category for playing Tamagotchi? Let's see. They have one that is, like a... Oh, it's the category for, the Game Boy game. Let's see. I'm just taking a look to see if there's a Tamagotchi category. There are a couple different video games from Tamagotchi. They do have, like, playing Tamagotchi Paradise as a category, as well as a specific Demon Slayer Tamagotchi. And that's funny. No, they do have categories, like if you're playing with the Tamagotchi Uni, with the Tamagotchi Connection. So that's kind of great. Although I will say this is like... Yep. They even have, like, special, like, ones, like, if you're playing, like, the Harry Potter Tamagotchi. This is great. Well, maybe at some point we will have to... we will have to stream Tamagotchi specifically. I am mildly distracted for just a moment, figuring out just how expensive the Eevee Tamagotchi is. And it is quite expensive.
So we probably won't be getting...
It's very cute, though. If I had been into Tamagotchi actively when that came out, I probably would have bought it. It was like $40, but these days the best you can get it for is about 150. Many of them are more than 300. So, not something that I will be getting. Let's refocus on World of Warcraft. Welcome back, Songvale. Yeah. Tamagotchi are crazy. They really hold their value or go up. And it's interesting to me that that is the case. It makes it very tempting to, like, stock up on Tamagotchi. You know what I mean? Just that's my investment plan. No more American dollar, only Tamagotchi. We're doing the Ancient of Lore now. I want to play as a keeper or a dryad. I don't like the way he's really looking down at me. Sango says no more American dollar is right if you buy all the Tamagotchis. True. True. Just my entire savings account gone, reinvested in Tamagotchis that I won't be able to bear to sell.
The great elder branch rests. The growing darkness in Silvermoon has enraged many wisps. They will be willing to aid us in awakening this ancient. Take this banner and rally the wisps to the lowlands to war. Gather and bring them here, and they shall waken the ancient as they did in wars long past. Simply get near any of the angry wisps of the region, and they shall follow you. They should even keep up with your mount.
Alright. Crazy moment. We got the pennant of the Night Elves. We gotta get 25 wisps. Oh wow, there's a lot of them. We shall go. We ride out to collect wisps. Like a blood elf demon hunter on a demon cat with a night elf pennant. Very interesting situation. How many angry whisper? I wonder if like these ones are meant to be like I could actually be flying right now if I wanted to. Probably so. I do really like this like Grove of Wisps thing though. That's kind of cool. They're all swirly. We gotta get 7 more. I wonder if we're gonna have to flying mount, because there's not loads more near the ground. But I have to admit, like, the demon cat running around is kind of interesting. Kind of a compelling visual doing what we're doing. We are surrounded by stars. Do you think the children of the stars appreciate that they kind of become a tiny soul star when they die? Longville agrees that probably is very important. They are of stars, and to stars they will return. Feels like the kind of thing that needs a so mote B at the end, you know?
Once again, the Sunwell invites corruption and calamity. How many times must its mere existence imperil our world?
You know, you hate it right now, but Wheel's gonna keep going, and we're gonna save everybody at some point, so then you'll be happy we're here. Are you able to stab Maev? So far, that's not an option that I've been offered. She's never been an objective, has she? Like, fighting her? Despite the fact that she's definitely done crime, but I guess Night Elf women will be Night Elf women, and they just sometimes go on murderous rampages that are totally excused and no one ever talks about again. Or if they do, they, like, offhandedly mention that, like, no one ever addressed it, and then it, again, isn't addressed in any meaningful way. Big Baobab.
Big Baobab has fought in many wars on behalf of the Kaldori. After the last battle, he put down roots. Again. Every single time. When you sever the roots, he will only respect one who has known war to wake him.
Alright. Root of War severed. See, it summons little screamy dudes. Got that one. Maybe we can summon the last one and just do all the ads at once. Welcome to AoE. My AoE damage is just as good as my single target. Songo says, was that dead deer dead because of the root? It despawned with the root. I don't know. That's weird. I wouldn't be surprised if it was something somebody just pulled by accident, given that there's another deer here and the timing was just lucky. You know? Awaken.
Each time the Sunwell comes under attack, the Blood Elves suffer in the aftermath, and yet they cling to it.
Yeah, well, you know, maybe this time they're gonna give up on the Sunwell and then just turn to, like, blood anima magic. So that would be fascinating. Oh my god, it's perfect. You know what we're gonna do? So we had the Sunwell, and then we had the Sunwell that was more light-focused. Now we have the Darkwell. What if the Blood Elves are like, you know what, frick it, it's the Bloodwell now? Songwell says, that would make sense, but otherwise, oh my god, this tree guy is a problem. What did the tree guy do? Songvale says, I would hate that less than them getting rid of it. Yeah, I guess I agree. We were talking about the deer. Oh, yeah, like the Ancient of War just randomly killing the deer. Yeah, that wouldn't be great. You know what they say, if the Warlock don't have a war, they'll make one.
The Kaldori forces make this fight possible, but we will need more allies to be assured of victory.
Negotiations must be precise, like a sentinel's glaive. We still have much to discuss. Well done, Rudithe. The forest marches to war.
Vines? Or scales? I'm gonna go with vines.
Keep your eyes sharp and your footsteps silent.
With the ancients by our side, we will be unstoppable.
Tread carefully.
Good. An ancient protector is capable of striking foes from afar with their boulders, be they on the ground or flying in the air.
Oh wow, we got all kinds of weapons from that. That's cool. Alright. It's not an upgrade. It's not an upgrade. This one's worth more. See what it looks like, though. That's kind of cool. We got... I want to see the longbow. Show me the longbow. Ooh. That's cool. That is cool. How about this warbow? Same thing. Well, it's still cool. Let's see. It did tell me that I got an upgrade on something. Oh, I should probably equip that. Do I like this better? Do I want this or the Lucky Link's locket? Maybe I'll replace... I like the plus to speed for the Holy Retributor's Order, but admittedly, this Vine Trinket does feel like it's more Runethe. We'll switch just for the RP of it, you know?
Runethe, while the Kaldori are mustering, I could use your help as a witness as I ask another group for aid. We will need the Quel'Dorei for what is to come, no matter how much some of the Sin'dorei will protest. Oculeth has agreed to open a portal for the two of us to reach my aunt, Verisa Windrunner, where she awaits us in Eversong. Sin'dorei will not come with me. You?
I mean, this is rude. I'm Sin'dorei. I realize I look like a weird bat monster, but I am a blood elf. Songwheel supports the Vine Trinket plus Lucky Links is Runethe energy. Get rid of the Angry Paladin thing. Also try stabbing Verisa. Fair enough.
The conflict between the Blood Elves and the High Elves of the Silver Covenant is still fresh. I foresee problems on both sides.
I never miss a shot.
You and Lorthamar have much to discuss.
Lorthamar, I've attached no conditions to my aid. A corrupted Sunwell is an existential threat that cannot be ignored.
Both our peoples have moved beyond the conflicts of the past. A hopeful sign for the future.
However, this marks the third time that evil has descended upon Quel'Danas and placed our world in peril. Should we survive this crisis, I ask that you do not attempt to reignite the Sunwell. It is time to find a different path.
You said there were no conditions.
None for our army to join the battle. But the Sunwell invites catastrophe and conflict. For the sake of your people, you must let it go.
You can't ask that of me. The Sunwell defines us. Without it, we were nothing. Weak and powerless.
We Keldori once faced a similar fear. Losing our immortality was a cruel fate. And those who sought to regain it committed terrible crimes. So believe me when I say that I know how you feel. But I also know that your people's resilience far eclipses their reliance on the Sunwell.
I will consider it.
Let that be a political answer and not a real statement. Oh my goodness. Why? Like, I feel like the Blood Elves are not the kind of people culturally to be like, you're right, that could be really challenging. We will just make it easier on ourselves. You know? Like, they won't choose that. They'll be like, well, it's worth it. It's difficult, but it's worth it. That's what I think, anyway. It's so funny that regardless of what portal you use, you see the Stormwind portal room as an image, as part of the, like, pre-loading screen loading screen. Longwell says the secret that the Telemancers of Azeroth don't want you to know. Yeah, actually, we all have to go through Stormwind's portal room.
Just a bunch of stubborn old elves.
Fret not. You did well to bring them together.
You know, in every other line of dialogue, Erator, you seem to consider yourself one of them.
Champion, this is Verisa Windrunner, my aunt. She raised me in Silvermoon until she relocated to Dalaran. She and her Silver Covenant, what remains of the Quel'Dori as they once were, will prove invaluable in the fight once the fight to come. Well, Thalas will forever be our home. The time to return has come. Before we are able to make amends with the living, we must lay the dead to rest. Years ago, I purged Dalaran of all elves allied with the Horde. I blamed them for the actions of the war chief at that time, and that resulted in the death of my husband. Now, years later, those ghosts still haunt.
Until next time.
Will you put them to rest and gather their remains? I'll perform some small atonement by bringing these remains to Silvermoon. They deserve to be returned home. Erator's warning is poignant. There will be no small amount of grief or even threats when we return to Silvermoon. I suspect Aethys and his Sun Reavers will bar our passage if we enter without preparations. To that end, I have saved some precious remnants of our shared history from before the demise of Dalaran. Would you please gather them for me?
Do you think returning Anastarion's relics will convince those like Aethys to allow you to return?
I don't intend it as a bribe, but if relics of the last king must return home, then perhaps the Quel'Dorei deserve the same.
I'm not sure that's true. Like, as an equal thing. Songville says, I feel like in Midnight I've noticed a couple instances where the elves seem to use elves in place of people or men and women. That's fair. That might make sense. Given that, like, English, understandably being human language, does not make a big distinction between, like, mankind, like, the idea of someone's humanity being, like, their personhood. So maybe they're trying to give the elves the sense of doing the same thing for elves.
It's good you are here.
We should not let history define us in the present. My aunt knows this lesson better than most.
I was young when Quel'Thalas fell. I don't remember much about King Anastarion.
He ruled for thousands of years, from the troll wars against the Amani to his heroic sacrifice against the Scourge. To this day, Anastarion is revered by both Blood Elves and High Elves. He is a symbol of when our people stood as one. After Anastarion's sacrifice, our people were split apart. The Blood Elves stayed in the ruins to rebuild, and did terrible things to regain that feeling of power. We High Elves could not abide what Prince Kael'thas was asking of us. We left during our people's greatest need. We have also done terrible things since then.
Would anything have been different if Anastarion had survived?
It doesn't matter what would have been. It only matters that he was a symbol of a united, powerful Quel'Thalas. We need that now.
You know, Anastarion wasn't the only one who died defending Silvermoon. Despite what everyone says, I wish Aunt Sylvanas were here to join the fight. But I suppose her days as Ranger General truly are a thing of the past. All things considered, maybe that's for the best.
Yeah, make the druid guy the Ranger General, which I think he is. Alright. I feel like she is not portrayed as being... She feels very corporate in her, like, we also did some bad things. But I feel like we're not really appreciating actually how bad they were. But we shall see. Songwell says he is, yes. I ramble a lot, so I'm not exactly sure what you are referencing to agree with, but I'm glad you agree with me.
I am listening.
The Book of Law is heavy. It was meant to be heavy for anyone to hold it, and is enchanted as such. Within are words of power. Not magic, just wisdom and experience written down with such elegance and diction that it commanded centuries of peace and prosperity. Treat this book with respect. The Sin'dorei have gone too long without this reminder of what it is to be a civilized society.
That's actually a cool idea.
High King Anastarion's Book of Law. He applied its dictates equally to all his subjects.
I like the idea that the Book of Law is heavy, regardless of who holds it.
Greetings.
I don't hear the words.
Till next we meet.
Oh, he is, yes. Haldoran is the Ranger General. Yep. Although I guess maybe if we brought back Sylvanas and reinstalled her, I guess he, would have lots of time to go be a druid.
Hello.
Take very special care of this crown, Runethe. It is more than a mere symbol of our people. Woven into it is its very metal and being are great magics from an era that remembered what true enchantments could accomplish. This is a relic worthy of our greatest kings. I am trusting you with it in the hopes that you will see it return to its home.
Be careful.
Passed down from Anasterian's great-grandfather, this crown adorned the brow of every Quel'Dorei king.
And now Runethe is king of the Blood Elves, in the biggest twist to our roleplay of all time. It is interesting that they are like haunted by these ghosts following them around. Yeah, I'm guessing.
I don't have a target.
I'm guessing that they're supposed to be ghosts when we saw them before. The remains of the fallen, tarnished keepsakes of blood elves from Dalaran who were slain indiscriminately. Yep, definitely a major war crime. They definitely did some war crimes. I'm looking at their outfits. I definitely see, like, some where they're clearly, like, random citizens, and then I see some where they do appear to have been employed by... oh, these ones actually are specifically killed by Jaina. See the ice through their chest? Some appear to be, like, truly Kirin Tor. Ooh, I don't... What the hell's going on there? Lingering regret. Ew. We are returned to peace.
I need a target.
It is a good touch, yeah, I'm impressed. Burden of guilt. So my haste is way down, my movement speed is way down. Actually, are all of them killed by Jaina? These all have the ice crystals too. But yeah, these ones are Kirin Tor, fairly obviously.
I don't have a target.
I don't like these, blood worms that they occasionally use. I haven't quite figured out what that is, but it's, terrifying. No
I need
thanks.
to target something first.
No thanks. No thanks. No thanks indeed.
Here's a nice spot to sit in contemplation. These are huge flowers, wow. I feel like we should lay as many to rest as possible, so I'm gonna pull all 3 of these even though we only need 1 more. They say that they shall never forgive the Silver Covenant. And understandably so. They are free.
I need a target.
Alright. Go to turn it in. I thought this said Anarchist Paladin. It says Arcanus Paharin. It's Huron! And he has the same hair as Huron does. It says former quartermaster. Has that... He doesn't have hair like this? What is Hiran's hairstyle? I guess I just always feel like this is the hairstyle you use. Maybe I'm wrong. Does Hiran have a style that's more like this? Oh, the ponytail. Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm thinking of. So I'm like, oh, here's the ponytail, but it's down the back. Okay. Has this been, like, I got an alt-tab to go look to see if Hiran Lore Song was indeed... Yep. Hiran was in previous versions of WoW, so it's just another guy named Hiran. I don't think you intentionally copied
these
him.
relics of Anasterion are enough to remind Silvermoon that we are still one people.
I don't know. I think the massacre of random civilians in Dalaran is a bigger issue. I mean, maybe this is the whole issue with, like, Warcraft, right? Like, it's like a cycle of hatred, where I'm sitting here like, I don't think it's the Blood Elves who are the problem in a post-Dalaran massacre world, but, like, that's the point. That's why these are, like, conflicts like this are so hard to resolve, because inevitably wounds stay too raw for when you next need to, like, mess with them. Sungville says, I don't think you are one people, though. I think you're very definitively have become separate peoples. Yeah. I have allowed them to torment my people for too long. I bear that guilt as well. Thank you, Runethe. It is time for me to bring these ghosts home. We were not able to preserve much from Dalaran before its fall, but every object recovered carries with it history, meaning, and lessons. Lessons that any citizen of Quel'Thalas should understand on sight. The artifacts of the last High King of Quel'Thalas. He was someone all Quel'Dorei and Sin'dorei respected. I intend to return these artifacts to their rightful home. Right. Necklace. I have 2 necklace options that I do not need. Okay. It is time for us to return to Silvermoon. I have no doubt we'll be greeted as traitors and murderers. I do not care for how we are seen. I care that Quel'Thalas survives. Will you join us, Runethe? From what Erator has said, you have earned more than a measure of respect from Silvermoon. I would be honored if you would assist us in entering the city without incident.
The Silver Covenant returns to Silvermoon one last time.
Champion, if you would meet us at the gates, it would be a powerful symbol.
Songville says, I also have diminished sympathy given how many of the Quel'Dorei left voluntarily. Yeah, like, they weren't necessarily super exiled.
How may I help?
How does it feel to have betrayed us by joining the Horde?
Good luck. Can I assist?
Oh, interesting. This is not a flight path. Also, I think it's funny that, like, they really felt the need to telegraph that it is a flight path. I'm assuming it will become one. But so they still put out Dragonhawk here, even though I assume he has you fly it on one of these. I can do it. I can push the right button.
Hello.
Oh, pay no mind to me, Champion Runethe. This shoveling is all just part of the joy of taking care of mythical beasts. Where did you find these animals? To be honest, I'm not sure myself. After Dalaran fell into the sea, the Silver Covenant tried to salvage what we could. On one of those outings, we discovered these drakes, along with survivors. Apparently the drakes came to the rescue when Dalaran was destroyed. We've been caring for them ever since. There was a rumor going around that an artist in Dalaran somehow had created these drakes. Apparently she dreamed of these dragons and made many paintings of them, but never sold a single one. When asked why, she said that she painted them for Dalaran. That's when Dalaran's people needed them. That when Dalaran's people needed them, these paintings would come to life and the dragons would be there to help. Crazy story, right? We never could verify it, though.
Be careful.
That's cool. I think that's a neat canonical backstory. That is what the Mount Journal text for that mount says also. But it's neat that they, like, confirmed the canonness of it. I have to say, you know, I had an up and down on the mouse. I am very glad that I got this mouse. This wireless mouse experience is very nice. Like, I feel like I've heard this from a number of non-child gamers, that, like, any kind of friction really gets in the way of being able to enjoy playing games, because it is just not as easy to get the brain to get out of the way and let the, like, imaginative soul be excited to do something, like play a video game. And so, like, having stuff get out of the way is really helpful, but also having something be, like, a physically enjoyable experience or an aesthetically enjoyable experience can add a new angle that I didn't necessarily used to appreciate as much when I was younger, in, like, why something is appealing or compelling to do. Excuse me, I'm developing silent hiccups as I'm talking. And I feel like the comfort and ease of using this wireless mouse both removes a barrier to playing in an effective way, that, like, sitting at the dresser that functions as a desk for me, where I have, like, a nice gaming mouse, is a little bit of a barrier to enjoyable playing. But also, I'm enjoying the, like, ergonomic experience of it. So, like, it's compelling in its own way. Anyway, back to the lore, now that I'm done rambling about my new peripheral. I do think it's interesting that so many of the Silver Covenant people are considered rangers. I remember that coming up during Burning Crusade, that, like, the one group of the population that had a substantial amount of people that did not partake in the Fel were rangers and Farstriders. And I wonder if that's kind of translated into, like, many of the people who defected were also from the rangers.
Aethys, I am not here to fight you. We are here to defend the city of our birth from the Void.
The Sun Reavers will defend what remains.
I have lost enough of my own well,
It is important we use our power wisely.
I've lost enough of my own kin at the hands of the Silver Covenant. It was war, they tell me. Both sides took losses, they say. My Sun Reavers never purged anyone from Dalaran. One Windrunner met her justice for purging a city. The other faces me today. We have come to negotiate in peace.
May the artifacts of Anasterian. We thought these lost. Taken by the Lich King.
I wish to return them to their home. Our home.
You cannot buy absolution, Verisa. What you did was unforgivable.
I am not here seeking forgiveness. Silvermoon is under attack. I intend to defend it.
High King Anasterian's death heralded an age of mistrust and anger. This is what the Void feeds upon. Was Anasterian's sacrifice in vain? Did he die so that his people would turn on each other, rather than unite to defend their home?
The Silver Covenant drew a line in the sand and then soaked it in blood.
We are here to prevent more blood from spilling. In spite of all that has happened between us, can you deny that is what Anasterian would have wanted?
No, I cannot. This is far from over, Windrunner. But for the sake of our High King, you may enter Silvermoon.
Thank you, Aethys.
Aethys is like, I'm out. I'm not watching this happen, though. Songbill says, I did a great job on Aethys' voice. Thank you. I actually really feel like I found the mood there. I have to say, I think these, like, moments that are not cutscenes, but rather are scripted things that, like, NPCs do in the world. Okay, so it was a little bit ruined by them all just, like, disappearing there as I was praising them. But I think those moments are really cool when you get to watch all of the NPCs do something. I guess Erator still exists for some reason. Everybody else disappeared. Erator gets to walk in. We'll go with Erator. Excuse me, I just have to make a note about something I need to do when I get to— oh my goodness! I never hit enter on my Discord alert that we were going live. Well, I did it now. But yeah, I enjoyed doing Aethys' voice. Maybe another thing I should do is I should put together like a— I forget what they're called, like a demo reel of voices and like offer collaboration, etc. to WoW content creators that I think are cool and volunteer to like read quests for them. Anyway, thank you for encouraging me to buy this mouse. Given my experience with the software, I am really not impressed with Razer requiring what feels like spyware. And also the fact that, like, beyond it, whether or not it's spying on, like, what you're doing and taking that information, I just have a limited amount of RAM, on an older laptop, and I cannot afford the, like, half a gig of RAM, or whatever it was that it was taking, or quarter of a gig. It was substantial enough that I felt like I could tell that the software was taking up. And that's just not cool. So, yeah, I feel like I can't necessarily recommend the product, but I will say that I'm enjoying it. If you can get one used, or if you can find a workaround on having to use their software, overall, I like it.
Varisa Windrunner, I had not believed you would ever return to this city, but I welcome your help.
Alright, well, we've made a council of elves.
It's good you are here. We must
We're gonna look around to see if anybody has new dialogue we haven't read yet.
Many sacrifices. Our strength lies in our people.
Champion, your continued aid through these dark times means more to me than anything I can put into words. It is an honor to fight by your side.
What I do for Quel'Thalas.
The bonds my people share with the Sin'dorei run far deeper than just my marriage to Lor'themar. When my people faced the Legion as they turned our Nightwell to evil, it was the Sin'dorei who came first to our aid. When we found ourselves leaderless, broken after the war and thousands of years of isolation, it was the Sin'dorei that were the first to welcome us into the Horde. We will fight by their side, through thick and thin. They have earned our respect and our loyalty.
Our unity sustains us.
For Dalaran.
Varisa Windrunner personally massacred my people in a vendetta over her lost husband. And now I find myself sharing a war table with that traitor. I tolerate their presence only for the sake of my home, and hope they will have the courage to stand and fight like they have promised. But I do not expect much. Not from them. No. I fully expect the Quel'Thalas to flee when the Void continues its onslaught.
Still we stand. And so, We fight on.
I am the Blade of the Light.
The Sunwell is gone. Where once it emanated hope and conviction, this dark well only drains and consumes. I can feel it at the edge of my senses at all times. I do not know if we can restore the Sunwell again. Not like we did before. I can feel the scar, the hole where it used to be. But this much is certain. We must break the Darkwell before it cracks our world from the inside out.
Remain vigilant.
For Silvermoon.
What remains of my Farstriders stand ready. They are holding the devouring host at bay for now, but the enemy has not pressed their advantage. What could they be doing with the Darkwell?
With perseverance, strength. What would you ask of me?
Eretor's plan is vicious and foolish. Yes, we need help, but there has to be standing armies out there who can be relied on. The Kaldori? They loathe us. Even if they supposedly agreed, how can we not expect them to seek revenge for their last world tree? The Rendori? They have proven some use, but can we really trust them? Do we have a choice? The Quel'Drai? Those traitors massacred our people in Dalaran. I never thought I would see the day where I wish we could just throw orcs at a problem.
It would be unwise to oppose us.
I have to admit, I saw that when I went to look up to see if I had missed anything in an earlier part of the quest chain, and I thought that the ending for Romath was quite funny.
The shadows serve us.
Ah, Runathan. It is nice to see a face around this table that's scowling less. They tolerate with me within my city once again, but mark my words, any moment now Romath will try one of his specialty blink missiles again. You see, he combined blink and arcane missiles together as a lesson to anyone foolish enough to challenge him to a mage's duel back in the day. He doesn't like to admit it, but I was the one who taught him to layer an invisibility spell onto the missiles so you don't see them coming. At any rate, Lorthamar has given me permission to be here, and I am basking in the discomfort of others that my mere presence creates. See, that's not a good thing to have as a character trait you're not questioning within yourself. You should never be excited for other people to be bothered by you, because usually if they're uncomfortable at this point, they're going to get... Like, if there's any other threat going on, they're just going to become defensive. They're not going to change and, like, be willing to be vulnerable enough to do the thing that's really dangerous, which is saying, I'm wrong, maybe my point of view needs to shift. So, you know, I'm interested in this character, but he's a flawed dude. For sure.
We embrace power. We do not fear it.
Thongvale agrees with me on that point.
My bow is at the ready.
Thank you, Runathe. Now, let's begin planning the city's defense before it is too late. Again. Take the one that's worth more. Ooh, I got a berry pie! Okay, success. Stream worthwhile, we did it.
Together.
That's everyone except for the Sheldori. Any word, First Arcanist?
Champion, your timing is fortuitous. Fortuitous. I'll start again. Champion, your timing is fortuitous. I sent the call. Well, rude.
We found our place in this world.
Champion, your timing is fortuitous. I sent the call for the armies of Suramar to muster, but they have not arrived yet. My seneschal should have alerted me if anything went wrong, but I have heard nothing. I plan to go to Suramar to investigate what is amiss. Would you join me? I may have need of your skills.
The Nightborn have yet to answer the missive. Could it have been lost in transit?
That should not be possible. I sent it magically to Olin, my seneschal in charge, during my absence. Something may be amiss in Suramar.
I am enjoying this quest chain. I feel like certain things are happening very quickly, which is leading to, like, some of, like, the emotional moments or the difficulty of different actions kind of being glossed over, because if they went as deep as they should, this would take a lot longer than this quest chain is. But I feel like this is one of those things that the imagination fodder of, or, like, bulking out more context around this, or more conversations around this, is fertile ground. So overall, I am enjoying this quest chain, even though I wish it was so long that people would complain about it. Oh, a while ago I heard my Tama poop. I better help him. He's cute. I don't remember what this character is called. I will look, because I know everyone is very, like, not here for WoW at all, or the elves. They're specifically here to hear about my Tamagotchi that I don't even have a camera for. It is a Ginjinrotsi. Longwell says she feels upset. She doesn't want them to decide to not have a Sunwell anymore. I agree. I don't like this idea. I hope they don't go that route. I hope they go for, like, what if instead of making things easier for ourselves, like, we trust in our ability to rise to the occasion. I could still see that choice being made. And also I have some solace for the fact that, like, even though I guess it wouldn't get to be in this incredible, like, Isle of Quel'Danas complex, you know that, like, some elf somewhere is gonna pull an Illidan, they're gonna pull an Umbric, etc., and, like, somebody has vials of Sunwell water somewhere. Somebody is gonna steal those little, like, belt dangling gems that, like, the Sunwell priests wear. Somebody stole one of those and is gonna go, you know, make their own new well. They're gonna go make the Neo well.
Seneschal Ullen, where is the army? Where are our constructs? Why are you ignoring my orders?
I'm glad that this was pronounced right away, because I would not have pronounced it Ullen. I have no idea what the first Arcanist is referring to. We have been at peace for some time now. I have received no word from the High Arcanist Thalisra. That's a weird inclusion of the for days. We have had many mana problems lately, so there is a chance her message spells were simply not able to be received.
Perhaps whatever has been draining our mana claimed the messages you sent us. I'll investigate at once, First Arcanist.
No, Ullen. We will investigate this mystery while you gather our troops.
The mana of Suramar is carefully cultivated, regulated, and controlled. It does not just randomly stop. Someone or something must be interfering with it. As you investigate the mana drain, I want you to occasionally dispel illusions in the area. Focus on those gathered here. I suspect not everyone is what they appear to be.
Is Ullen one? Alright, I just thought I'd check. Songirl says I object to this pronunciation. It should be Ulin. Yeah, I would have went for Ulin. But they fare the Uus. I am getting lots of notifications, and I just need to keep checking them in case they're important, so. Alright, that has been checked. We'll be going here for, what do we think? About another half an hour, I think? Yep, about another half an hour. Wow, I was perfect. We're at an hour and a half right now. It will be about another half an hour of screaming from me today. As we continue on, it is our turn to say something's not quite right. Oh, no, we're supposed to investigate this protector. Okay.
This military construct has been drained of mana. This was no mere error.
So do we think Ullen is sabotaging this? Maybe Ullen is mad because he actually wanted to marry Thalyssra. Are you legitimate? Just checking, just checking. What's up with this ley line coil?
The ley line no longer channels mana. The magic has been devoured.
I think Songville says that she feels suspicious of Ullen, but can't specify a piece of evidence for it. I think just generally his, like, way of receiving the information that he was supposed to get a letter and then he didn't makes me feel like he doesn't really care that he didn't get the letter, or, like, he did know about the letter, but, like, I don't know, it seems like he should be way more concerned that he didn't get her letter. Oh. He's dead. He's not real. I was right. That's an imposter. Initially, I was like, oh my god, it was a night elf, but it's a Twilight person. So it's just one of those cases of, like, the Twilight's Hammer and derivatives are the most diverse organizations in Azeroth. But that, I had this moment of like, oh my god, it's a night elf. This is not gonna go good for our, like, council thing going on. Anyway, they did not do a good job of hiding his body at all. You gotta put it a little farther in the bushes, guys. The corpse of Seneschal Ullen has lain...
Who were we talking to before? We must confront them.
The corpse of Seneschal Ullen has several days' worth of decay on it. He has lain here, concealed, for quite some time.
That is sad. I hope his soul enjoys where it has gone. I'm not sure who else I'm supposed to discover as an imposter, though. Is this an imposter? That one did have, like, an alert circle underneath, like it was an objective. Songville says, I think it's rude that, like, I thought to try and dispel an illusion on Ullen and absolutely nothing seemed to be amiss. Yeah. Unless, like, maybe he should have given us the mask. I think that would have been good. Songwell says there should have been some hint for people who tried that. Yeah, like maybe like Ullen looked at you or something. That would have been interesting. Because that was my first thought. Something smelled off about him from the exact moment I started. Alright, I realize this is going to scare you guys, but I think this dude is not who he seems to be. He's a troll. Wow, they were ready. Did you see they whipped out these magical maces and they just started beating on the guy? These people are not afraid of conflict. They're like, do not get anywhere near my flowers. Songwell says, or if I try it there, it backfires, and then Ullen says something about wards, something, you have to do it somewhere else. Yeah, that would make sense too. Ooh, there's a rare up. It is probably a Legion rare, but we will not investigate because I'm not sure how to get there. Just kidding. We're not going to investigate. I do appreciate the diligence of these grove tenders to immediately come assist. They are not afraid of anything.
I need a target.
Find a couple more imposters here. How do you think the Tauren illusion works? Because they would go clippy-cloppy if they walked on the ground. Like, do you think it actually changed? Well, I guess it could just actually change their form. I feel like it would be a little bit hard for a Tauren to learn to walk on plantigrade feet. You know? Songbell says, good druids, indeed. Wouldn't that be funny if the way Blood Elves get druids is that the Nightborn teach them? And then the Rangers are just standing there like, guys, come on.
Imposter, hold!
We have your mana. The Nightborn shall fall to the devouring host.
Oh my god, it was an ogre. Songbell says, since they're void people, I suspect the type of illusion they're using doesn't change anything about them, but instead fools your sensory perceptions of them, including both sight and sound. You just perceive what they implant. That makes sense. Like, so they're not actually, Why do I have imposter? I am real. I have a buff named imposter. We have a ongoing headcanon that many of the people who are involved in Twilight's Hammer at all are not actually, you know, actually a Tauren or actually an orc or whatever, but in fact are void entities, posing as natural races. Songbell says, this is the type of illusion that fascinated Vindriel so much that he started studying the shadow. That's actually a cool idea, I like that. The mana here has been tampered with. I can feel it in the air. It reminds me of the worst times before Shalaran. Shalaran is goodbye. Shalaran. Olen was an infiltrator? The amount of damage they could have done is terrifying to imagine. Alright. Crit strike verse. I could have more crit strike. Oh, but this one has... Oh, they have the same amount of stamina. Is verse a straight damage boost for me? I think it is. Increases damage done. Decrease... I feel like I probably want verse rather than crit, so we'll just vendor the ring. Versatility also confuses me, Songbell. There were far more cultists than I would have expected. How long have they been infiltrating our society? Probably since the moment that shield went down. Ullen's imposter may have escaped, but I suspect I know what the cult has been doing. The Twilight's blade must be redirecting Suramar's mana flow. Without it being sent to the correct places, our awareness dulls, our golems wilt, and our entire society risks a mana withdrawal. There is only one place they would be able to exert control over our ley lines like this, and that would be the Archway. Go. Find them and crush them. We will meet in Silvermoon when you are done.
The Twilight's blade must be altering ley lines in the Archway. Go and undo their sabotage.
Thank you very much, Oculeth, as I assume you are the reason.
Anar Amenos. May your path be clear.
Here. I don't think I have time to complete this delve this morning, though. This might have to be something that I do another time. Because alas, I just don't think I have... I don't know, sometimes delves are like 10 minutes, and I feel like sometimes they're like half an hour, and I'm not sure that I have that for me today. So this might be where we call it. I feel quite good about the variety of voices that I was able to like read the quests in today. I think there was well, two things. One, there was just a better, like, emotional performance because I was focusing more on that rather than on trying to figure out how to make my voice sound like, you know, male orc. But there also is the advantage of the fact that, like, my way of speaking is in a lot closer alignment with various elves than it is with, like, male orc brute. So it was potentially an easier voice work day for me too. But, well, we gotta add it to the list. I need more art for different stream alerts. That needs to get done. But I also need Atomicam. You know? Songville says, I have thought about trying to do voice acting and or audiobook narration. That would be cool. I like your voice on a microphone. Like, I like your voice in real life too, but I like it on a microphone a lot. Which is not a given. Some people have a great voice only in one of those two locations. I thought this was a night elf, and it's a Haranir. So, it just goes to show how versatile that model really is. You are welcome, Songvale. Songvale says that makes me want to revisit Night Elf Haranir. Am I saying that, or, like, noticing that, like, this person... I think I was just looking at her face initially. Like, she's much heavier set, so, like, the body reads Orc here to me, and then the face reads Night Elf. Well, in the interest of not petering out, I suppose I should work on wrapping up the stream. Any big thoughts for today's Songvale? Anything you'd like to share with the group, with me in specific, etc.? Songville says she wishes to find hope somewhere today. That is a very pleasant thought. It does seem to be sunny outside, so we should be enjoying that. You can also look forward to maybe, potentially, your mouse shelf getting done today. We'll see. Depends on what is needed. Songville says it's not sunny where she is. Oh, that sucks. Well, I have to tell you, it's very sunny where I am, so maybe. Maybe you will get sun eventually. And a low-level migraine. Noon. I am finding that, like, whenever I'm stressed, I'm starting to get a headache, like, right away, or it kind of comes and goes. So hopefully you experience a low-stress situation. You are welcome for shelf. Also, let me know if you want help typing up, you know, a draft on... Songville is an editor. He does novel editing for folks of various kinds, line editing, developmental editing, all kinds of editing. And recently received an offer for a project that is not going to be her forte, and needs to, for the first time, decline a client, and that's stressful. So let me know if you need help coming up with the wording for that. Songville says that she will work on being chill today and would like the help with the email. Excellent. Well, I'm happy to provide it. I do have to start getting ready for work here shortly and head on in. It is our day to go to the makerspace, so while I do have a number of things I need to do that are all, like, email-based, the reality is that means I'll be at my computer, so I will be available in Discord if you want to chat about that during the day. Otherwise, of course, we can do it this evening. Songwell says she has little bits of passages but not connective tissue. Well, I can help with that. But we shall go ahead and let the stream be over for today. Thanks for coming. And I will catch you in the next one. Tomorrow is Genshin Impact in the morning, and we'll see where we go from there. I do keep looking at my tablet and thinking, wow, we should do more art streams. So we will think about what day I am most willing to do that. I feel like the one that comes to mind is... The two that come to mind the most are... As I'm speaking this, there's an argument for all three of the remaining weekdays. Friday is the one that often comes to mind the most. But sometimes my schedule on Friday fluctuates, and I just don't know if I want, like, 3 days in a row, which we'll come back to on Tuesday. Monday, I think, had the strongest potential viewership, but it's also the day that I have, like, the least wiggle room, like, prior to work. And then also, sometimes I'm, like, not home on Mondays. That's a day it's really common for me not to be home on Monday mornings. So... the consistency piece might not be there. Tuesday recommends itself because it is maintenance day, so I can't, like, necessarily play WoW. But I also have to go into work earlier on Tuesdays. So I have more time, like, where it's not as big of a deal if I end up, like, slightly late other days besides Tuesday. And Monday. But, I don't know. Decisions. Songbell says that she'll only be here for a bit of Genshin tomorrow because she has to go to her cleaning job, but she will aim to be here for some of it. Sounds good. I will try to I will try to remember to remind you, when we are waking up tomorrow and saying our good mornings in Discord, that, it is a streaming day to encourage you to go out and care for the animals quickly. Songbell says she's about to bind off the final strip of her blanket. That will be an end of an era when that project is complete, and you are able to attach all of the strips and you have an awesome new blanket. Alright. Well, let's give it an end cap for today. Thank you for hanging out. Catch you tomorrow for Genshin. Maybe at some point in the future there will be an art stream day as well. But I don't know. You know, find me in the Discord if you have an idea for what webcam I should use to be able to care for Thomas on stream. Have a good one, and thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the salute. I salute back. Songbell wants Belf Jude fan art. That's fair enough. I feel like I'm somewhere between repainting things and also being aware that I need some channel art so people can, like, I don't know, help me stretch, or, you know, I can put something up that says, like, I'm at the bathroom, I'll be right back. Bye, everybody! Wave in again? Wave in again? Yeah, it probably will be Belf theme channel art. I was thinking about stretching Colossian links as my stretch. For the bathroom, I don't know what it'll be. Maybe it'll just be a closed door. We'll think about it. Bye!